On this episode of Chinwaggers, the part of Noah Chant will be played by Stephen Wakefield.
Don't yuck my yum. I think that's one of the most genius sayings in the world. It's like me saying don't dry throat it.
It's not like that.
It feels like you're getting worse and worse.
No, you ever to me you dry throat something like you eat something that's meant to be you need a drink with it. That's
give
a
me
brave
some
thing to do.
examples.
I make a bunch of warm cookies and then it's oh my gosh, we got to get in the car. So we get in the car and we're eating all these cookies, but we don't have any drinks. Not milk, not water,
it has
nothing.
to be milk. No,
that's what
it
I'm
has to be
saying.
milk.
So it's oh my gosh, we're gonna just sit here and dry throat these cookies.
That's still feral to me. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Don't yuck
That's
my
just
yum.
no, that's just a bit extreme though.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I get you make some fresh chocolate chip cookies. Would I prefer that there's a glass of milk involved? Sure.
Yeah.
But if you're there's no milk, I'd be hey, cookies are great.
Yeah, you're gonna be I guess
Yeah.
gotta dry throat it.
I'll tell you what I would never say is that. You couldn't pay me to say that.
Well, I'm just saying, when it catches on,
It won't.
You heard it here first, folks.
But it won't.
You guys have tried to yuck my yum, and here we are. It caught on.
God.
Okay, I need to change the subject because I can't keep hearing Abby say that.
All that to say, something that we didn't record was that Steven and Brian were in the car listening to Harry Styles.
Okay. So
And the fact that you like Harry Styles is mind blowing to me because I didn't even know that you knew what the genre of pop music was. I thought if it wasn't in the jazz section of Apple Music, it's nowhere to be found on your playlist.
So every once in a while, Katie will introduce something
Okay.
to me, and we're not just sit around the house listen to music people.
I don't think anybody is. This is
I don't know.
2025.
No,
I would prefer to always have music playing.
Really?
Driving, working,
Well, yeah,
praying,
driving.
sitting
you're
at
at the
home.
house-
You're
during
literally praying to
dinner.
Harry Styles?
Literally, yeah.
You
Well,
literally get up in the morning, you turn on your devotions, and then you literally turn on Harry
dude,
Styles.
I'm not lying. I've written sermons listening to Drake. I'm not lying.
Cold cut.
we listen and we don't judge.
That is a we listen and we don't judge. Wow.
So, anyways,
Let's run that back.
we're listening to Harry Styles,
You start crying.
and I'm just bawling my eyes out.
Matilda's playing.
It was
You're
a really good
sobbing.
bonding moment.
So
Is it Harry's house? Is that the newest one? I think it is.
Harry's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
that
you
what
were
you said?
saying. I thought you were saying
swear
Harry
you said,
Styles.
I heard
but
you
saying
say,
it weird.
"Is it Harry Styles?"
No.
Yeah, that's
And I
what
was
I heard
like,
too.
yeah,
Is
that's
it
who-
Harry's house? Wait, hold
You
on.
guys-
Is this another
anyways.
Shia LaBeouf?
Is it Harry Styles?
One of the I'm not gonna say what I think I'm gonna say. Yeah, Harry's. I don't like that name for an album, but I think it works for him because he's cool.
And his name's Harry, so
So it's Harry's
Yeah.
It feels
house.
like
It'd be weird
works.
if it was Derek's house.
He literally names the album Jared's House. What's your favorite song on this bad boy? I'm looking through and I'm like, this is a bussin'
Here's the
album.
thing, and I hate.
It's good.
I don't even like talking about this because I'm
Okay.
kind of embarrassed that I even like
You're a more Jared's House
his
guy.
music. Yeah, I'm give me more Jared, whoever that guy is. But that album, from top to bottom,
It is
doesn't
phenomenal.
miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I hate to say that, but it's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's good.
I'm not gonna lie, Matilda is probably one of my favorite songs on that album.
That checks out.
That's like we don't have the same opinion on the Jonas Brothers album. So Brian thought he was so cool because he listens to the Jonas Brothers now. He literally wants to be me. And we were talking one day about our favorite songs, and I was like, mine's probably Summer in the Hamptons. He's like, oh, of course yours would be Summer in
That's
the
literally
Hamptons.
if there's one song
You
on the album
idiot.
that just doesn't even interest me, it's Summer in the.
Why? It's such a jam.
It's not.
It's just kind of, you're just driving the.
That's the one. That's literally the one I'll skip on the whole album. It's a perfect album, except for that one. It's just I
Okay.
just feel like
Throws
it's just
off
the
the
same
vibe.
thing over and over again. It's just not. It's not the vibe.
Well, some of us aren't jealous of people who've been to the Hamptons. Okay.
Have you been to the Hamptons?
No,
Yeah,
but I'm not
exactly.
jealous of people who have. I still like to incorporate my life into everything that they do. So, favorite song on Jared's house?
It's probably
Wait, can I guess? You're gonna say "As It Was."
It's a great
Brian's
song.
like, whatever one is starred and most liked by the population. That's my guess.
Do you want to know something amazing though?
What?
There will be times where we'll get in the car and like this won't come as a shock to you, but I'm not like a broad genre person.
Never thought it.
Exactly.
THOT.
There's no surprise there. So I'll get in the car and it's worship music. It's John Mayer.
Yeah, Need to Breathe.
Could be Need to Breathe.
Yeah.
But there's just
Imagine
like
Dragons.
I'm not like I'm not
Creed.
going to venture way off into like other genres. Like I'm never going to listen to country or
Yeah.
rap or
Okay. So just music.
yeah.
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 We can just.
But every once in a while we'll get in the car and one of the girls will request like a specific song from a specific album.
Okay.
And it always throws me so off that they know them by name.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
literally got in the car one day and Nora was like, "Hey Dad, can you play As It Was?" And I was like
hold
I was
on.
like, wait,
Like, wait, how do you know this
from
song?
Jared's house? She's like, yeah.
What?
And there was one time we got in the car and Isabel, who's 3 years old, she goes, "Dad, will you play Chocolate?" And I was like, from the
By the
1975?
That's amazing.
And like they know them by
That's
name.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So it is As It Was, I'm assuming.
I don't know if that's my favorite. Honestly, like maybe this is a little bit, I don't know, lame or cliche, but like Sushi from a Music Restaurant is probably one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in my life.
It is
great.
one of my favorites, yeah.
It's
Never mind,
so
I don't
catchy.
like it.
Well, he doesn't even know what it's called because it's music for a sushi restaurant, not sushi from a music restaurant. But
I didn't say
You did. Yeah, you did.
restaurant. I love music restaurants, guys.
Fred's like, have you ever had sushi at one of those music restaurants? It is
Just my
delish.
vibe.
There's no way I
Supremo.
said from a music
Yeah,
restaurant.
I swear.
Sushi from a music restaurant. Music restaurant. Music restaurant.
But I just checked with you because I knew what you're talking about. We were having a little Jared's house moment, so I just
Yeah,
thought I'd just
yeah.
let it slide. But that is pretty crazy. He's
Yeah.
one person that I would like to see in concert. But if I could get tickets to see it and nobody else gets tickets. Because I can't stand going to.
Are you saying you want a date with Harry Styles?
Oh my God. Wait, Gold Cut. Freaking out right now. Notice me, Harry.
Love like a concert where like I could buy my way in, but no one else could buy their way in, and then like it's just me and him, but like no one else, and like we're at a restaurant and he pays.
No, I can't stand. And here's the thing, I am one of them. I can't stand going to concerts where like young girls are also going to be there that like the same people.
Yeah,
So 1 year for my birthday, I've probably not had this much fun in a long time. 1 year for my birthday, my friend Mackenzie decided to get me Big Time Rush concert tickets. Hey, jackpot.
Okay.
Party in the USA. And so we go to Nashville, we see Big Time Rush. It is, let me tell you, their name has meaning because it was one big time rush.
Is that like August Rush?
No. Mm-mm. It's like a, do you not know who Big Time Rush
Or
is?
is that like
Why am I asking this?
Is
I
that
know you don't
like-
know who Big Time Rush is.
is that some kind of like a sequel to Rush?
No.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the Fast and Furious. It has nothing to do with August Rush. It has nothing to do with anything remotely something that maybe you could know.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I will give you the benefit of the doubt for this one because you might not, I could understand you not knowing this because you're in like your late 30s and I get that. It was a
I
Nickelodeon
wouldn't
show.
say late
yeah,
30s.
yeah, easy.
It was a
killer.
Nickelodeon show
Oh,
about a
immediately
band,
no.
okay?
Immediately no.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You didn't watch TV growing up. You were a Seinfeld house.
Yeah, we watched Seinfeld. We didn't
Yeah,
watch.
you like smooth jazz. Everything is just. So, anyways, this TV show picked up, whatever. And the band actually just kept going on. So it was a TV show about a band called Big Time Rush.
Okay.
But then the show ended and they were like, wait, are we still Big Time Rush?
So like the actors who were in the band were actual musicians.
They're actual musicians, and then they just end up like sticking with it and like
That's wild.
continuing on being a band. And then they broke up for a little while. I think it was like after the show they broke up or something like that, and then they like regrouped and have gotten back together to
Okay.
perform for us all. Anyways, so go to this concert, having the time of my life until the girls in front of us, who are probably early 20s like me, they ask us, they turn around, they're like, hey, do you mind if we stand up? Which in Nashville, I don't remember what stadium it is, but there's ones where like there's like rock seats. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's not like rock seats, but it's like concrete seats that are like made into the...
Is it almost like, is it like an outdoor thing?
Yeah.
Like an amphitheater
amphitheater
type thing?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it's called specifically there. Anyway, so we're there. She asked me, she's like, do you mind if I stand on the thing, like the seat? And I'm like, yeah, I actually do mind. Like,
yeah.
Like I've paid to be here and I'm not going to watch you just like scream in front of me
Yeah.
and jump up and down. Like I'm here to see the concert.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I actually do mind. Like we won't be able to see. And she's like, okay, no problem. And I was like, yeah, thanks for asking. Well, probably 30 minutes into the concert,
She stood.
what do you know? They all get plastered.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
Well,
not
it's
one
big
of
time
them.
Rush. What are you gonna do?
It's one big time rush. I can't blame you. Anyways, so all of them stand up and are like jump. We literally can't see like half the time.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, I would love to go to these concerts, but if none of those people could be there,
Yeah. Did you punch them like you punched Brian?
no.
Okay, cool.
But
Cool.
on that subject, Brian and I have been to a few concerts.
We've been to a couple.
Specifically one.
Maybe I should say we've had some shared concert experiences. I
Yeah,
don't
the
want
second
people-
concert,
I don't,
I
want people
don't
thinking,
believe
like,
Brian
we
was
hang out
actually there.
or that we're friends.
Yeah,
even.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Most times Brian will go on Ticketmaster and he'll try to log into my account to see what concerts I've bought tickets for, and then he'll buy tickets for those concerts. And then we'll just show up and he'll be like, crazy seeing you here.
And so far it's been great. So
Yeah. So we go to a concert in Chattanooga. I feel like concert's a big word for John Mark McMillan.
It was a show.
A show.
yeah.
It was like
You
it
wouldn't
was
call
a
it concert.
performance.
Yeah, it was like a small.
It was a jam session.
standing room only show.
Yeah.
Very casual.
Super close together. It's just like you're shoulder to shoulder. It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's me, Brian, Noah, and Bailey, which is Noah's wife.
Yeah.
So I'm standing beside Bailey, Noah's standing beside her, like she's in the middle of us, and Brian's kind of like behind us because we're all so close together. Like there's just no room for everybody to be like together. So anyways, Noah thinks it would be funny to reach across from where he's at, where I can see him. Like I can see him, but I can't see Brian. Reach across and just like caress like the top of my bum / lower back, like just inappropriately enough to make me uncomfortable. And I think just out of like a reflex, because I can see Noah,
Yeah.
that it's Brian. Because I'm like, nobody else is this close to
Yeah.
us
Right.
in our sphere. So just out of instinct, because for me it's fight and not flight, I just fist and just rear back like I'm gonna punch Brian in the face.
It was such an instant response to something that I didn't even know had happened. Really.
Brian's like, something I didn't even know I did. And I'm literally like, I mean, I'm ready to literally punch his glasses through his eyeballs. And he is looking at me like, no,
I don't even
not
know
me.
what's going on right now.
Not me.
Just if you could not punch me right now.
Really appreciate that.
So I don't go to concerts anymore with elbow to elbow type situations because it just brings me a lot of PTSD. Thanks to Noah.
But we did go to a John Mayer concert.
Yeah,
The same concert.
that's a bit of a stretch. Noah and I went to a concert and we think that Brian might have been there.
There's evidence. There's photo evidence.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get that from Noah so I can put it up.
Yeah.
for everybody to
Do you
see.
know, Brian being at that concert is like when somebody goes to a movie theater and they record the movie on their phone and then they send it to that person and that person watches the recording on their phone of the movie. That's how Brian went to the John Mayer concert. Like he experienced it. But did he experience it?
I would. Yeah, I'd like to think that we had a pretty similar experience in that
Yeah.
we were both in the same room,
Yeah.
listening to the same band.
Yeah.
Our seats were located differently. I wouldn't say that one was better than the other.
What does that mean?
We'll put up a picture for you
We'll
guys.
put up a picture, but
Yeah. And not to hate, because here's the thing, I'm a girl's girl, okay? Disclaimer, I'm a girl's girl all day long. But Yeba performed as the opener for John Mayer. Do you remember that?
I do remember that, and I'm worried about what you're about to say, that you have the wrong opinion of how that went. But go ahead.
She was garbage.
Okay. Oh, for a second I couldn't remember what you thought about that because it was so bad.
It was so bad. And here's the thing: I think it was so bad because she's so good.
Yeah, like I didn't know much about her going into the concert, but
you didn't?
No, but Noah
Okay.
was like watch these videos
Okay.
on YouTube because she's got an unbelievable voice, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
she's so good.
yeah.
Turns out she's not a performer.
Yeah.
Or an
and
entertainer.
she is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I've listened to her music and it's just the kind of music like when you watch her do like YouTube like things or whatever, like she'll do like little videos with different artists and stuff, you're like, this is sickening. Like you're so good that it actually hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
She did Age of Worry actually.
Yes.
She did a John Mayer cover of Age of Worry and
crazy
it was like I would even venture to say almost better than John Mayer, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got up and if I'd have had tomatoes, I'd have just freaking
It was the most awkward thing
I'd
I've
have
ever
chucked
seen.
'em.
Like imagine somebody with no stage presence.
Yeah.
No entertainment.
And it was like her
value.
mic was I don't know if her mic didn't have like any like effects on them or like reverb. She wasn't projecting. Like there was no like you couldn't really hear her. It all sounded
So weird.
muffled. It was horrible. And they had acted like they hadn't even like practiced.
Yeah.
Like they just got up there and set up like 5 minutes before the show started. And actually, the first John Mayer concert I went to, Philip opened.
Okay.
And I actually didn't really care for him. Like
Really?
he was just all right to me. Like I listened to like one of his songs.
Yeah.
And he performed and I was like, I was stunned. He did absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah. My first John Mayer concert, he was actually opening for Need to Breathe.
No, it was not.
And everyone's like, who's this John Mayer guy? It was crazy.
John who?
That's like there was actually a lady that I used to go to our old church and she found out that I was a John Mayer fan. And she was like, "Do you know that I met John Mayer?" And I was like,
What?
"No, you didn't."
Yeah.
And she ended up popping up her phone and taking like a picture of an actual picture that she has of her like in like her 20s or whatever. He was at like a little something in maybe Chattanooga and they like took a picture together and like a casual picture, not like a picture somebody took of them like a literal like she has like her arm around his neck and they're like taking like a personal photo.
Whoa.
Like it looked like they
crazy.
were kind of dating.
Are you guys the type of people where if you see someone famous, you'll go up to them and talk to them or get a picture or anything like that?
It would.
No, I just asked him like, "Can you just spit in my drink?" And then I'm like, "Totally fine, walk." No biggie.
I
Don't
usually,
yuck my yum, man.
Just don't freaking yuck my yum, okay?
I usually carry.
What do you
those
expect me to
Ziploc
dry throat
bag.
this drink?
I carry a little Ziploc bag, and I'll say, "Can I just get a couple of your fingernails?" I just don't Don't ask me why, but if you could just clip a few in this bag.
Actually, here, I have some clippers with me.
Brian's like, "I don't really like chewing gum." Can you blame a guy?
I generally don't think I would be, but there probably are a few people that's like I couldn't let this go. Like I would regret it for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
The annoying part about your personality is I know for a fact that what you're going to say is like, "I would never be that way unless it was Bill Johnson," or "I would never be that way
I
unless it was
wasn't
like
even-
N.T. Wright."
Abby, I wasn't even thinking that. Listen, so I gotta share this story because this is probably I'm not a person who just like lives with a lot of regret.
Yeah.
You know? And this
Okay.
isn't something that I necessarily regret because it was out of my control, but it's something that like sickens me to my core every time I think about it.
Have I
which is
heard this
often.
story?
I think you have. So Katie and I were newly married, no kids. And so we had time. And so we'd go downtown. We'd go to Southside Social, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
And we'd get some friends together. We'd just go and we'd have a drink and we'd play cornhole or, whatever.
Yeah, just live it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, we'll live and laughing and loving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, love, man.
We were there one night for like a couple hours, had a great time. We leave, we go home. We're at home now, and Katie opens up Instagram, and there's people posting photos from Southside Social from the time that we were there with Elijah Wood. So you guys
Elijah
know
Wood.
man.
he
Who's
played
that?
Frodo in Lord of the Rings. So for people who don't know, like I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah.
And
Hey, no-
to know that
No shocker here.
to know that I was at the same place that I maybe could have had a game of cornhole with Frodo
Yeah.
Baggins
At the same time,
makes
he was there.
me.
Yeah.
He was there at the same
Yeah.
time, at the same place, and
Yeah.
we didn't see him. And that just makes me sick to think about.
That is pretty
I had an
disgusting.
experience just like that at Southside Social, and it was
Really?
probably a person in about that level of fame. One of the contestants from The Bachelor was there.
Oh, so
Okay,
you were
okay.
joking around. Oh, so
And I did meet him, and I did get a picture with him.
and he did give me a rose.
He did give me a rose. So
I need to know.
we're in love.
I need to know what part of that story was serious just now.
All of it was serious.
Even the part where you said like same level of fame.
No, that was sarcasm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one thing about him you need to know is like
I was about to
he
leave.
eats up some live like reality TV.
I do.
You guys
yeah.
do. You guys
Yeah.
do watch you and Taylor.
Reality TV
Yeah,
is
yeah.
everything.
I wouldn't say it's everything.
Well, it's
no,
everything.
I mean, I'm watching like Severance. That's not reality.
Well,
or is it?
yeah, joke's on you.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, we just watch a lot of TV.
Okay, so I actually have a story to one up both of you because I didn't miss my
honestly doubt
opportunity,
it.
okay?
And if
No.
you do, I will have one to one up that one.
I was like,
Okay.
I meant. I don't know. Go ahead. It's gonna be something stupid. Go ahead. It's gonna be. I guarantee you.
I met
promise
the
you it's
real
not.
Listen,
Hello Kitty. I'm not lying.
There
It's the real
is-
one.
There's an 80% chance that whoever you're about to say, I've never heard
You've
of.
never
Go ahead.
I want you to know it's true.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, I actually the sad thing is I have to pull up his name because that's how little I listen to country music now. But back then,
Why
I
are
listened
you
to country
sharing the story
music.
if you don't even know who this
I
person
was like, guys,
is?
this is
Okay,
gonna be the
because I
best story
knew
you've
I
ever
wanted
heard.
to say his name was Jake Owen, and it is Jake Owen, but I knew his name was Jake. But I need to be sure of his last name so that people knew who I was talking about. Because me and him were on a first name basis now. We just call each other Jake and Abby. No, it's not Jake Owen because he's not a star anymore. He's a friend.
Right.
So you guys know who that is. You know who that is, right?
don't. Nope.
Oh my God, both of you suck.
I told you. I literally told you going into the store. I'm not gonna know who you're
The
talking
thing
about.
is, you didn't even know who it was.
I need to change this.
You had to Google who
I need
it
to change
was.
the star because that way this story sounds cooler. So, anyways, we go downtown Chattanooga. Me and some friends were eating at Chili's because what else do you do downtown Chattanooga?
Yeah.
You eat at a local Chili's.
Yeah. Okay. It's such a Gen Z
So,
thing.
anyways, so we're there. We go to like the little river. What's it called? The little like the steps, the river steps or
Yeah.
whatever. And this like fancy freaking like what do you call them? They're like those 70s vans. What are they called?
Like the old like VW vans.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of those bright like turquoise blue pulls up.
Okay.
Right.
And it looks like it's from a movie. Like it doesn't look real. It is real.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
driving it, but it doesn't look real. And freaking Jake Owen steps out of this, okay? That would be like
Don't. Whatever you're
No.
about to say is gonna make me angry.
there's nothing. Need to breathe.
So he steps out. Do you immediately recognize? Oh,
Immediately. I know exactly who he is.
'Kay.
Yeah,
Okay.
immediately. I'm freaking out. Because again, I don't really listen to country music the way that I used to, but it would be like at the time he was popular the way like Morgan Wallen is now.
Okay.
That's like the reference point, okay?
Okay.
Then, because this was probably 2015 maybe. So anyways, he gets out of this little cool van and he's like, "Hey guys, we're just going to do a couple shots for the music video that we're filming." And so he's like, "Could all of you guys just like gather around and just like let me sing you a song?" We were like, "Freaking sick, bro. Yeah." So anyways, we all sit on these stairs. He literally gets out his guitar, sings a song from his album, and all of us get to like write in his like right on the door of his van, like our names and stuff. And I'm like in the music video.
Dang.
So somewhere out there, there's a VW van with your name written on it.
And there's a music video you could look up too. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a quick shot. Like it's nothing crazy. I've not been asked to come back or anything, but it's
I just
a
kind
pretty
of
big
hated
deal.
the experience because, like, I really wanted it to just be me and Jake Owen.
I was like, "Jake, these girls don't even know you like I do. Okay, they don't listen to your music. They listen, but they don't listen. You know what I mean?" Anyways, so that's pretty cool.
All right.
And then one
You're into
time,
that.
so in Nashville, this is kind of embarrassing. I don't think I've ever shared this story on public platforms. I used to work when I lived in Nashville. Well, I lived in the Franklin area. Let that be known because Nashville and Franklin are different in the sense of like Nashville is like,
Yeah.
it's just that, like Franklin, you know, is a fancy, it's
Yeah.
a fancy spot.
yeah.
Nashville's like, it's a wide variety of just, I don't know, you know, you're going to boot scoot boogie your way around all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So, anyways, I'm in Franklin. I'm working at this little boutique. And one of the things that they tell you when you move to Nashville is that, like, people in Nashville who are famous live in Nashville because of how people in Nashville treat them. So it's like a Nashville thing that, like, if you live here and you're not a tourist, you don't approach, like, famous people.
Sure.
Like,
Okay.
you're a Nashvillian, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And if you're going to live here, act like one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you approach someone famous, chances are they're gonna know you're not really from here.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a touristy thing to do.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm like, sick, noted. So like one time I'm at the mall, me and my mom are at the mall, I see this guy pass me and I'm like, who? I'm like, I know him. And I'm thinking like, I know him from church. Like I don't, my mind doesn't go to like,
Yeah.
what famous guy do I
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I realize that it's the lead singer from Lady Antebellum.
Whoa.
Oh,
Just
okay.
like passing me. So like
Yeah.
I had encounters like that all the time where you kind of like I went to like one of the factories one time and like Sadie Robertson was there, like so like I just
Yeah.
you pass people all the
Yeah.
time, but you just
Yeah.
kind of keep it low key, act like you don't know them.
Yep.
So one time I'm at this boutique that I work at. I'm checking this guy out, and there's this show called I think it's called Nashville.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it? I'm surprised you haven't.
I know.
I'm not shocked you haven't.
I haven't seen it, but I know
Okay,
of that
you know
show.
of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, he's one of the main guys, and it just so happened that I only watched the show because a friend of mine watched it, so I just knew the cast. And then Lennon and Macy, is that their name? Lennon and Macy Stella?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, they're like sisters. They're like both singers. That's an album that you would go hard in the paint with.
Okay.
It's freaking Lennon albums. Anyways, we'll get back to it. Anyways, so I'm there. This guy comes up to the front. He's got his little girl with him. And I'm checking him out. Like I'm like literally checking him out, not checking him out. I'm like taking his clothes, like folding it
checking
up in a
him out.
bag, I'm just like sizing him up, see what's going on. And I'm like, I literally say this out loud. My the assistant manager's standing like kind of close to me. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I was like, I don't even know if you get this a lot. I was like, you look I'm not kidding. I literally say this. I'm like, you look just like, have you ever seen the show Nashville? And he kind of looks at me and
And
he's
you're
like,
in Nashville.
I'm in Nashville. And I'm like, he's like, mm-hmm. And I'm like, you look, there's a guy, I was like, I can't remember his name, but there's a character on there that looks just like
It's
you.
so funny.
I had no clue. Because again, even when I would see famous people, like it just didn't register to me that like you would see those people in the wild. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
and it's also so weird because it feels like you don't see those people. I mean,
Yeah.
also where we live is probably partly the reason we don't see people in the wild
Yeah,
like that.
right.
If we lived in like Los Angeles or something, we probably
Yeah.
would have more,
yeah.
whatever interactions. But I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it is crazy. I'm like, you guys are literally identical. I was like, I don't know if you've ever like been told that, but like, I mean, like it's spot on. And he's just like, yeah, like, thanks. And I'm like, yeah, like, have a great day. I like give him his bags. I'm like, have an awesome night. And then my assistant manager pulls me to the side and she's like, Abby, she's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, do what? And she's like, that's the guy from the show Nashville. I was like, oh my
I would have wanted
my
to crawl
God.
inside
I
my
was
own
like, I am
skin.
so sorry. She's like, you don't do that. I was like, I apologize. Like, I just didn't even think that it could actually be him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
That is amazing.
and it's just hard. I feel like it's so. Why is it so weird when you? And I think it's because there's not a lot of people that like in real life that you study their faces the way that you do famous people. Like I
Yeah,
don't watch you
yeah.
on a TV show for
Yeah,
6 seasons.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also I know you, so it's not as like I don't know, it's not as like daunting when it's like you see them in person.
Yeah.
But something about seeing someone in person that you've not ever seen in real life, but that
Yeah.
you've probably seen their face more than people
Yeah.
that you know,
It's weird.
is weird.
Like even when you meet someone that like you've just started talking to or commenting back and forth with on like social
Yeah.
media or something, you see them in person, it's like,
this is
I
weird.
don't know if I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
This is not
Wait,
where I talk to you.
How often is that happening?
All the time, dude.
Give me a scenario. That's
So,
this is
like,
blowing my mind
go
right
ahead.
now. Give me a scenario in which
okay,
like
so there's this chick that Taylor
Steven's like,
connected
I
to.
go on neighborhood Facebook pages and I just start friending people on the
You'd
neighborhood.
be surprised how many people want to be my friend. There's so many of them. So Taylor connected with this chick that like I don't know where the connection was, but somehow over Instagram she was seeing this chick post about like places that she goes in Chattanooga.
okay.
And so she would take her kids different parks or museums or whatever. So we're at a park and Taylor's like,
a park that she's recommended probably.
yeah, totally. She's like, I think that's that person that I like talked to on Instagram or whatever. And it was like, I was like, you have to go talk to her and introduce yourself. Like they would comment back and forth all the time on stuff, but never met in person.
And I've had that
Okay.
experience multiple times. Like
Yeah.
there's a girl that I watch on YouTube. She does like book videos and she's got like a pretty large following. It's what she does for a living. And her and I will talk back and forth on Instagram.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you're not famous in the sense that like, I'm probably not going to see you on a TV show, but like you're famous in the sense like I watch, like your face is on my TV
Yeah.
like multiple times a month. And like I've talked to you, but I don't actually know if you're real.
Yeah.
But I know you're real.
Okay.
Or there's a girl that I even talked to on like Instagram that I don't know, but like we both like books because my Instagram is basically just for books. So like we'll go back and forth and talk about like books that we've been reading, but we don't know each other. We just kind of like introduced ourselves and was like, hey, book bestie. It's me, your book bestie.
Do you actually say boo bestie?
Book bestie.
Okay, I thought you were saying boo bestie.
Hey, boo bestie.
This makes me very uncomfortable.
You've never done that before?
Well, I was just intrigued by Steven because Steven was presenting that story as if it's a really common thing to like be in the comment section with people on Instagram and then like bump into them. And I'm I couldn't even think of a scenario in which that would happen.
He's like, me and this one guy keep commenting on Drake's post, and we like ran into each other the other day at Trader Joe's.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, there's just like people out there that you're just like, I would like, it would be crazy if I met you in person.
Yeah.
Or like there's this girl that I know, well, I don't know her. I follow her on YouTube and she lives like not in New York, but she lives in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
And so she every blue moon will like go to the actual like city and like go shop like for books and stuff. And I'm like, what would be the chances that like the one time I go visit like New York City and I like go to one of these bookstores, I run into you and I actually don't even know if I would say anything because I think it would embarrass me more than it would like.
Sure.
Because I don't know, it just feels like it's such a, I don't know, like a starstruck. The only person, there's only one person in my life, okay, that I would ever like foolishly embarrass myself for. Like I'm talking, I saw them across the street and would take off sprinting. Like they'd have to throw guns out and like guards on me.
I can't wait. Another person I've never heard of, I'm sure.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've heard of this one.
Okay.
Kristen Bell's the only person that I would literally like, if somebody said like the only way you can meet her is if you cut off 4 of your toes, I'd be like, pick which ones. Take 'em.
Okay.
That is insanity.
There's nobody you can think of that you'd say like, there's nobody I would go feral for except for this person.
Here's the thing. So I never got around to my answer to my own question, which is that I'm the type of person who I will absolutely go meet any famous person. There was one time.
That's not shocking.
Yeah, I know. It's super shocking. I'm not really a people person, so there was one
Steven's
time
like, so you got an
where-
Insta or?
Like,
I'll hit you up, bro.
You hang out in the comment section? You're like, what's going on?
There was one time I was at the mall. I was probably 21, 22, something like that. And
This is a long time
I
ago.
was
This is when malls first opened.
back in the day. And so I was like fresh into like more of a career job. And so I thought I had money. And so there was like this store that I went to. It was called Metro Park. And they knew me by name because every Friday when I would get paid, I would go in there and buy something
Sure.
stupid.
Okay.
And I'd buy like
Sick.
$200 pair of jeans or something. Like, so
Sick.
yeah. So I'd walk in and they'd be like,
yo,
hey,
Stevie.
we got a new pair of, such and such jeans and you should check them out. So I thought it was a big deal. Like, this is so cool. So
Yeah.
one day I go in and they're like, do you hear who's here at the mall? And I was like, no. And they're like, well, have you heard of the rapper YG? And I was like, I don't think so. And they're like, yeah, so he's apparently a big deal, but he's here and he's going from store to store and they're like shutting down the store and not
that
letting
he can
anyone else.
shop?
Yeah, so that he can shop. And so there's like a crowd of people like kind of following him around. And so then I was like, famous person, mall, I'm in. So I didn't even know who this guy was at the time. Now
Yeah.
he's a bigger deal. So I went from store to store until I could find him. And I just, followed the smell of weed through the halls, found him. And so I go, he has a whole entourage around him. And
Sure.
I had like on my way, I'd Googled like what he looks like because I had no idea who this guy was.
He
But
literally asked you to sing one of his songs with him.
he's like, I'll take a picture with you if you sing one of my songs. And I was like, say less. So I found him and he has this whole entourage. And I was like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? And he's like, I don't take no pictures. Keeps walking. And then he leans over, he like walks 10 more steps, leans over to his bodyguard and says, tell him to come over. So for some reason in those 10 steps, he changed his mind.
He's like, he's
So-
got some nice jeans.
You shop at Metro Park, don't you? So he waves me over and he goes, I won't stop walking, but you can take a picture. And so I have his picture on my Instagram with this guy, YG.
That's hilarious.
That I had
Funny.
never heard of, but he was a famous guy. So I was like, I have to meet him. Of course. Come on.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know. I think I would only want to take a picture with Kristen so that people could believe that we had a conversation.
Okay.
Like, I don't even know if I'd want to take my picture with her. I'd be like, here's the thing. I don't even have to tell anybody that we met. Let's just go have coffee for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Yeah.
I won't even tell anybody that I even know who you are.
That is hilarious.
People say Kristen, I'll say who? Don't even worry about it.
Yep.
I don't know who the person is that's like, I would never
Like that to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I would
Yeah.
never like leave the situation without doing whatever I could to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone.
There is one other person I can think of that I would be that way towards, and it's Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon's hilarious.
And I know in my core, the core of my being, that he would like me as much as I like him.
Okay.
There's just people out there.
Sounds a little delusional.
No, there's people out there that you're like, here's the thing. I know that you need my friendship as much as I need your friendship. And he's one of those people.
I get that.
I just know we would click.
Yeah.
That's
We'd have a
hilarious.
good time. We'd come up with a couple of sketches, a couple ideas for a show.
A couple
Yeah.
characters are
Yeah,
developing.
he'd have
Yeah,
me
yeah,
on
for
for an
sure.
interview. Ugh, Jimmy, let's not talk about our
Yeah.
history on here.
Enough about chin waggers.
Yeah,
What are you up
gosh,
to?
Jimmy. That we've talked about this before. That is how we know that Chin Waggers has officially. We could be making millions of dollars, but nothing will take off the way it does when all three of us sit down at a Jimmy Fallon show and chit chat.
Yeah, all three
Yeah.
of us.
And I'm like,
We're like, Jimmy,
we brought
No
our
chance.
we brought our camera guy, Jimmy. There's just something. And here's the thing I would say, Jimmy, don't listen to the boys. Just listen to me. I'm the reason this thing's a big deal, okay?
I just don't feel like I don't really fangirl over anyone or
That's what
anything.
I'm
Like
saying.
I just
There's
am
not-
not really that way.
No, there's not
but
many people.
I always want to just like I want the experience that no one else is like gutsy enough to do. I'm like I want to do that.
Yeah, you'll want to do that. Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be meeting someone famous. Like cliff jumping, bungee jumping, skydiving,
Sure.
like anything that feels a little bit like it's not everyone likes to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would you dive out of a plane.
I would dive right out of a plane.
Really?
Yeah.
You
yeah.
would skydive?
Yeah, 100%. Didn't you guys go skydiving?
We did.
Yeah.
Katie and I went for our first
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best things I've ever done in my whole life.
Yep.
And I don't know why Abby thinks that's so funny.
I don't either. I think she's
Brian's
jealous
like-
of you, honestly.
We went to a jump park, and you know, like the top rack that you like jump off into the foam. Like we freaking skydived off that thing, bro.
Like they painted an airplane on the wall, and I
was
jumped off
crazy.
from that place.
yeah, I
It
couldn't do
was-
skydiving.
Legitimate. What is it about? Like, are you just not a heights person or?
There's things in my life that I'm like, I would be willing to die for this. I would be willing to die to have this experience.
Like to meet Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I was running in traffic to meet her and a car hit me, like, ugh, I died doing. Hey,
was
she
a
died
win.
doing what she loved. Okay. But like jumping out of a plane for
Yeah.
what? So you can tell people you jumped out of a plane.
Abby, I can't even express to you how amazing it was. Like, legitimately, it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life.
Brian's like, sometimes you
And-
feel like you're free falling, but you're freaking free flying, man. Brian's like, you don't get it.
Wouldn't understand.
I would. Katie and I, we did it that one time. And I don't know why we never did it again, but we were both like we enjoyed it so much that we considered like getting certified to do it on your own, not with like a tandem like instructor.
wild.
Yeah.
Brian's like, pilot, would you please turn on sushi for a music restaurant? I'm getting ready to descend.
Trying to get in the zone here.
That is no, I have no interest. I have no interest in doing that. Like even like roller coasters, like I genuinely enjoy them. So like, do I want to die on a roller coaster? No. But again, she'll die having fun.
Here's what's crazy.
Not here for a
though.
long time, here for a good time.
Here's what's crazy. So you know when you like if you've never done that before, you're doing tandem. So you're
Yeah, somebody's
connected to a
behind you.
professional, but you're literally strapped to them.
Which also just feels way too intimate.
I kind of
I'm-
feel like that would be my least favorite part of the experience.
So you're in this plane and you have to get strapped in like on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And so
So
you're
they
not-
lay on top of you?
So you're imagine me for the duration of our flight. I'm sitting here And my guy, I'm basically sitting on his lap.
You're literally just like patting his leg. You're just like rubbing his leg, like it's gonna be okay.
I'm like, so
Okay.
you do this often, or like what's going on? But so you're just sitting on this guy's lap, right? But here's what's crazy. We were asking them, how long have you been doing this? Because I'm, in the back of your head, you're thinking what's the percentage? Like,
Yeah.
what are the chances that we make it through this safely?
Yeah.
And both the guy that I was with and Katie they'd both jumped over 10,000 times.
That's crazy.
And so I was like, okay, I think my odds are pretty good here. Like,
Yeah.
what are the chances this is the one time that you didn't pack your chute right,
That's pretty crazy.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure to pack to get all that stuff just perfect every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. On that note, what I could do is I could get severed.
Okay.
Okay.
And we've had this
I haven't thought
conversation.
about that.
We had this conversation last week because I asked everyone, like, would you actually do something like this? And I think, as crazy as it sounds, okay, I think I could do it within the confines of knowing that I wouldn't do anything that's like morally unacceptable.
Right.
Like if I know I could be severed, but know that like I have a husband back home, I'm not down here looking for love. I'm not down here looking, you know what I mean? Like if I knew that I could keep my morals intact, I think I'd give it a go.
Yeah. I think I would do it.
I think so. I think
I'd
it'd be
severed.
fun.
Yeah.
Like if it was like a
But-
trending thing that like Steve Jobs did, and he was like, hey, we're looking for 10 people willing to do it. We've tested it. Nothing's
We've
happened.
actually done this 10,000 times and never
and
had
it's
a
failed
flop.
every.
And we've packed their chute perfectly.
I'm like, what are the chances? This one time it's not going to work.
Here's just how you have to think about it, though. Because I think you're assuming that you get to be part of the experience of being the severed version of yourself. And you don't ever get to know what that's like, how they feel, what they're doing.
No, but like, could you imagine like being 70 years old and having like a chip from your brain and getting to tell your kids like, yeah, do you remember in 2025 when they did that severed experiment? Hey, your
I was
girl,
there.
I was there.
You're worried about me.
Yeah.
I did that.
We were the 10 people down there in the office.
So you're just looking for a story to tell when you're old.
Well, what are you going to tell them that you saw a John Mayer concert? You saw it. It wasn't live, but you saw it.
But then you also have to live with the reality that you have created a version of yourself that works. Their entire consciousness is working.
But
Yeah, but
here's
can you
where my-
imagine?
They don't know what it's like to sleep. They don't know what it's like to get off work and have friends that you hang out with. They don't know what it's like to have a family.
Yeah, but if I could trust that it was going to be a 9 to 5, can you imagine at 5 o'clock? And keep in mind, I sometimes wonder if this would depend on whether or not I was a Christian. I'm a Christian, if you didn't know. But I think I'd be less likely to do it because I'm a Christian.
Sure.
But if I wasn't a Christian, can you imagine getting up, either way, really, going from 9 to 5 to a job, and then at 5 o'clock, clocking out, going home, having no idea what you do, no stress about your job, never having to worry about if I did enough or
Is
if
your
I...
job pretty stressful?
Awful. Horrible. Hate it. 10/10. Don't recommend. It's a joke, kind of.
Kind of. I hate it.
Do you know what I mean, though? Because I'm assuming that would be
Yeah.
stressful. The job that would be required to be
So-
severed
Yeah.
would be stressful.
And that's the thing that's what you have to live with, though, is knowing that like you are creating a life for yourself in which you get paid to not work. You close your eyes in an elevator and you open your eyes and you're done working.
Boom.
But you've created another version of yourself.
I
that
come out and
has-
I'm literally ripped. I've been down there freaking bodybuilding.
I like the thought that I'm funny in two lives at the same time. That feels really exciting.
The
to me.
fact that I could know that I'm popular, my
That-
innies as
that's what I'm
popular as my
saying.
Audi.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Knowing that I succeeded in that twice. You
Yeah.
know, I like that thought.
Knowing that your Audi found Creed the same way your innie did would be astonishing. On that note, episode 3
Okay, we got to talk about the episode.
was crazy.
It was.
Oh yeah.
I just wasn't prepared mentally for
No.
how it was going to end.
Yeah.
Because it happened very suddenly, I felt like.
It
Yep.
did. And I did watch it at night, 11 o'clock at night on my phone. I did do that.
Old move.
Abby, these shows,
Yeah.
they weren't something
Listen,
They weren't
better than a
designed for your
phone.
phone.
I love watching TV on my phone. Sometimes Adam and I will both be in the living room with a giant TV in front of us and the TV's off and he's playing a game and I'm watching a show on my phone. There's just something so like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I
I
can't.
don't like that.
I do believe that it's
Wrong.
Helena's innie. Noah disagrees with me. Whatever.
Okay, hold on. What?
So
What do you mean?
There's a theory. A lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
think that Helly
Yeah.
in this season is the Audi who's
Yes.
who's like infiltrating.
That's Taylor's theory.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of people
don't believe
think
that from
there's
this
some
episode.
evidence,
Yeah.
but I never really like felt like, I don't know.
I
That
don't
was
think
it.
so.
So I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
I'd probably tend to lean more towards it's the real innie.
Yeah.
I think this Noah said he felt like this episode solidified that it was her Audi. I feel like this episode solidified that it was her innie.
Okay.
Because when they get to the sheep room,
Yeah.
the goat room, whatever it
Yes.
is, she's asking too many questions. And I don't think that if it was her Audi, she would be asking those questions. I think that she would have tried to like hold back from pushing.
Sure.
Yeah. I got to say, my least favorite part of that episode was Dylan's any interaction with his wife.
I hated that.
I did not like
I
that.
wish they
It was
wouldn't
so
have even done that.
interesting.
It was painful to watch.
To also find out that he's actually a freaking teetotal loser in real life.
Yes.
That was sad.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
know.
so I'm up, and his wife just doesn't say anything, and I'm like,
She's like, you have kids.
oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, that
Which
was
makes me
rough.
wonder another thing that I thought was weird. So, two things that's crazy. One, the fact that when they're down there and they're in the goat room, they're about to leave, and the guy like hits that big tall girl, and
Yeah.
she's like, will you show us your belly buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And they
So-
show them,
Yeah.
and then remember, she leans over and she goes, I told you they didn't have pouches.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm going back through season 1 right now.
Okay.
Katie and I just watched episode 5,
Okay.
and they talk about the pouches in season 1. And it's one of those
Wait,
things.
what?
Yep. So it's when, do you remember that scene where Bert is in the conference room and Irving,
And he's walking back and forth.
he's walking back
rehearsing
and
his
forth,
joke.
rehearsing his joke, and Irving comes to find him, but Dylan's with him. So Dylan takes his belt and he locks the door closed. He locks
Yeah.
Bert in there. He doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
Right. And so they kind of go back and forth, and they're sharing like well, from our perspective, like we don't trust you guys because there's these stories of O&D
Yeah.
like attacking and killing MDR people. And Bert's like, well, that's funny because from our perspective, like we think you guys are the weird ones.
Yeah.
You know, and he says there's this joke that we tell. He said we have jokes that we tell about macrodata refiners.
Yeah.
He said one of them is we like to think that you guys have pouches on your stomachs that contain like
Larvae,
like
right? Or
larvae.
something. Yeah.
that like eventually grow up and like eat you, and then they become you. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I do remember that.
Yeah. And so
Okay.
it was just
Weird.
this super weird thing. And-
So, keep going.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say like it in season 1 it happened like very fleetingly. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wasn't
Just kind
something
of
you
like,
think about, and so
Right.
it's just an odd thing for it to come back up again
yeah.
in season 2.
Another thing that's crazy, Ben Stiller did an interview, and they did Noah said it was like a panel or something. And on this, they did like a Q&A, like honest questions. So
Okay.
it's like a Q&A, like they could ask anything and they had to answer.
Okay.
And so somebody asked, like, are all our theories correct about like the cloning and, you know, all this stuff? And Ben Stiller said, not even close.
What?
Really?
Yeah. He's like, not even like remotely.
Wow.
So I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But
And the
is he
end
just
was
is he
crazy.
messing with us? The ending was crazy
Yeah.
of that episode.
Finding out. And that's what makes me almost wonder. It's just weird. I don't know. There's a lot of theories. There's a lot of things that could go. From this point on, it
Yeah.
feels like I told Noah, I was like, we're at the point now where we know so much, but we don't know a lot.
Right.
It feels like if it was them just cloning people, we wouldn't be this clued in at episode 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're too
Yeah.
clued into that like idea. Like I feel like at this point, like if they were cloning someone, I don't feel like they would have given us this many hints. Cold Harbor, things like that. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's too much exposed for this to be the plot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think though, like what they've actually done or said.
Cold Harbor was a big one.
That implies cloning though.
Cold Harbor is the fact that it's Cold Harbor with her face on it. The fact that they say in the episode 2 or 3 that we need, what's his name?
We need Mark to finish Cold Harbor.
Cold Harbor.
Yeah.
But to me, like that doesn't imply cloning. I think cloning is just something that we've gone to because it fit, like it's not
Fit the narrative.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not like proven wrong by anything that they've done yet.
Yeah.
But to me,
Well-
like they haven't done or said anything that like to me like leans towards cloning or anything.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's some sort of like. Have you seen the movie Get Out?
No,
You guys seen that?
No.
I know what you're talking about, but I didn't see
Okay.
it.
I do know what you're talking about.
Well, so I have like this theory that there's some sort of like transhumanism kind of thing going where it's like there's like a passing of consciousness to one
Okay.
from one person to the next. The reason I think that is because like when they're in, I can't remember what the department is, but when they're going through that tour of Kier and it's all the Egans and there's all the statues in there.
Perpetuity wing.
Yeah, that's it. Perpetuity. And there's like this weird sense that they're all like maybe the same person or something. And then in this episode, they give that picture to Milchek,
Yeah.
That was
and
so
it's
weird.
him imposed on Kier.
Yeah.
And whatever the chick that talks to the board, whatever her name is, Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie.
She said they gave me the same gift of myself. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of like
Something to it.
they're all part
Yeah,
of Egan
we're
or
all
Kier's.
Kier.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh, I hate
We do
that.
need to talk about that scene though, because that was very weird.
yeah, yeah.
Which one?
With Natalie presenting Milchek with those paintings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there was like a weird tension between them.
There
Yeah.
was.
About it. Like Katie and I, we watched it, and she was immediately like, "There's
something there."
There's more in her eyes right
Yeah.
now that like
Yeah.
that this feels like there's something that she wants to say that
Yes.
she can't.
Yes.
About this.
Yeah.
Totally.
So Noah's theory was that they actually know each other.
That they what?
That they
they're-
know each other.
But they're not severed.
Yeah,
they're not.
but Noah's like, I'm wondering if they know each other from like something that they're not supposed to know each other from.
Okay, from like
You know what I
like
mean?
earlier in life.
Like earlier in life,
Okay.
like they knew each other, something happened or something, and maybe they both went to Lumen for a reason or something, and now
Okay.
they're here in this moment and they can't say anything. I don't think if the cloning theory, which is obviously apparently not, but if the cloning theory is true, I don't think she's real.
you think she's a clone?
And I think that's why she looks like she's in pain, is because I think she's trying to express human emotion in a way that she doesn't know how, because it's not natural for her to express human emotion.
Yeah.
And I think
So,
that's why she's taken
yeah.
sincerity and made it look like pain, is because she doesn't actually know how to look
Yeah.
sincere.
Well, so that's kind of the theme in the Get Out movie. So it's like there's these white, racist, whatever people who want to be as athletically gifted as black people. And so they will, once a year, they do this big like thing where they invite people over to the house. And there's
sounds
it's crazy. I mean, it's a
crazy.
thriller. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah. I've seen
suspenseful movie.
the trailer.
Yeah. So the mom in the family is like she hypnotizes people, whatever that's called, hypnotist. And so basically they'll put them under, they'll take whatever their consciousness is, and put their consciousness inside of a black person's body so that they're
That's crazy.
athletically gifted or whatever, physically stronger,
is
better
bizarre.
singing, whatever. And so it kind of like, it gives me that same vibe where there's a couple scenes in that movie where you can tell there's like pain behind their eyes and you're trying most of the movie to figure out what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
And you find out at the end. And it's the same look that Natalie gives where she's like, there's something she's trying to get out and it's like she can't vocalize it for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like a very
Okay.
similar vibe. And that's kind of where
Okay.
my theory's
Yeah.
coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
What I was confused by, so towards the end of the episode, he's in the car, which I love that he's trying to burn a message into his retina.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I loved that.
Yeah.
But then the woman, I forget her name,
yeah.
approaches him.
yeah.
The one who had reintegrated Petey.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she told him, she's like, I've gotten better at this.
Yeah.
And my first thought was like, how are you practicing this?
Yeah.
This isn't something you just get better at.
Right.
This isn't like sewing, like you're
Yeah.
getting better, you know?
Yeah.
And so first I was like, okay, I don't know what you mean by that. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how you're getting better. But then I was, just because they move so slowly and they're really slow to really reveal anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so caught off guard that it was like within seconds, I felt like he was like, boom.
Yeah.
Like he was there.
Yeah.
Like she's doing it. She's reintegrating him.
Yep.
And that she said she found a way for like basically like both versions of him to like coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that scene was really cool too.
Yeah.
Where he's like flipping back and forth between like laying on the table when he first comes into the seventh
Yeah.
floor. Oh,
Yeah.
So
It was
And
like-
then she's like, she asked a question. And he's like, I don't know. Like you can see his innie coming.
You
He's
can
like, I
watch.
don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
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 Which is cool. I mean, it takes a lot of like good acting. Like you have to be a good actor to be able to be the person that you are, but in two different ways.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that takes a lot of
Yeah.
effort
Yeah.
because you can almost literally tell when you're watching the scene when like
Which
he
version?
changes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like you have to be pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like some of the shots when they're on the elevator
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden like the previous day the innie had left and something like traumatic was happening.
Yeah.
And all of a
Yeah.
sudden like in a second
Yep.
they can like turn that back on.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And Helly's the same way. Like her voice sounds different. Her whole demeanor, her like she presents herself as so much more like just like feminine and like
Yeah.
dainty in her innie
Yeah.
than she is in her outie.
She's super like intimidating in her outie form.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to constantly have to go back and forth from those
Yeah.
two characters throughout multiple times, like in a day of filming.
Yeah. How good was that scene though, where Dylan has them in their overtime continuum or whatever, and you're like, I wonder how, like, are they gonna have all the time for Helly to get on stage and say what she wants to say?
I know.
And
Yeah.
he's like banging on Bert Irving is.
I know.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was
It
intense.
was one of the
Yeah.
best like season ending episodes
Yeah,
of
It was.
any
amazing.
show I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready for the masterpiece?
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, here's the thing. I'm just going to preface. What you're about to experience is something that not everybody experiences, okay? In this video, like, it says that. It prefaces, like, this is kind of like a never seen before type situation. So, like, you're getting, like, a firsthand look. You know, you're almost getting, like, a
Yeah.
backstage pass
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
at this.
I'm in.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Okay. One more time. For you guys to be able to leave and know that we're some of the first ever
We are.
people.
It feels like
To
we're
see the mystery
pioneers,
van.
man. Dipped in
Wow.
Italian dressing,
Not just dipped,
Submerged,
submerged
yeah.
in Italian dressing.
baptized, if you will.
Wow.
So, and I'm thinking that should start to become like a trend.
Yeah.
Like let's just find
like
what else can we
mystery
dip
van
in
dipping?
Italian dressing?
I'm going to be the first person in the world that has ever done.
Yeah.
I actually would go the opposite way and say, what else can we dip a mystery van in? So instead
Okay.
instead of like, what else can we dip in Italian dressing? I would say, what else can we put this mystery van in? You know?
Yeah. Milk.
I don't like how you said milk.
Mickle?
Will you say that again?
Milk.
You said milk.
Milk.
You said MELK. 100%.
Are you one of those?
Milk. How do
That
you
sounds
say
pretty
it?
normal.
Milk.
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 Okay.
Okay. All right.
But I also say mickle.
That one, that's odd.
Yeah, it's
That's dyslexic.
It's a jar of milk and you submerge a bunch of pickles in it and so it
Like-
becomes mickle.
You take a pickle jar and you pour the juice out and you replace it with milk.
I hate that.
Why have milk when you can have mickle juice?
This is the disgusting thing that Abby sends me.
Yeah, that's awful.
I'm like, top of the morning to you, Brian. Would you like a cup of mickle? All right. This next one is Stefania's.
So this one, I just love the extreme level of cringe that this is.
This
And the more times I watch it, the more I love this video. Like, come on, man. Get it
Here's the
together.
thing.
Just get it together, man.
Here's the thing. I would quit my job after this.
I might quit life after that.
I would cry. I would apologize to the kid, and then I would quit my job.
And what I really want to know is, what did he do after the fist bump? Like, did he, go to her shoulder? Did he just stop and cry? Like, where do you even go
Yeah.
from there?
How do you come
He
back?
literally just punches her in the face.
God.
So he tried not once,
Not twice.
not twice,
Three times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Which I get if you're in a state of panic
No,
You like
I
you've
don't
done
get
something
that.
and you're like, ooh. It's like when somebody goes to like fist bump you and then like you go to slap it
Yeah,
and then you're like,
that
and
is
then so you
awful.
go to fist bump, but they've got their hand up
Yeah,
ready to
yeah.
high five.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
at least
we just keep missing each other.
but at least you know that what you're trying has potential to go somewhere.
Right.
There's
This.
the potential for it to work.
Come on, man.
He's never
He
getting that high
literally
five.
just chest bumps her and she just falls back.
Like, I just want to
Okay.
know so badly what comes next. Like, did she like, do it with her head? Like, what?
She just looks at him. She's like, it's okay. You can stop.
All right, so this when this video starts, you think you're gonna know what's going on,
Okay.
but there's a few seconds in, there's a plot twist.
Okay.
So you think you're like, oh, this is I see what's happening. It's a guy doing this, and it's very obvious. But then
Okay.
it's like, oh, I didn't know what
Not the
was going
case.
on.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a guy playing the guitar.
I hate
With
this.
a lot of feet.
Yeah, it's just It's like, wait, what? All those arms?
Oh my.
Move, connect, play.
And you can buy a book on Amazon.
So wait, that's an ad for something that you can own.
So I guess that was an ad for a book. But you're like, oh man, there's just a guy playing his guitar. And there's some feet, but it's like, well, I'm not gonna worry about that. He's just playing his guitar.
Yeah.
And then it's like, those aren't even his legs.
That's insane.
Yeah. Wow.
And he was just
I'm not
shredding,
here for
man.
that.
He was
No, me neither.
shredding.
Too many
Shred the gnar,
toes.
man.
10 is enough. No more toes. All right. Well, it's been fun.
It's been a good chin wag.
It
Yeah.
has been a chin wag.
Yeah.
We've really wagged our chins today.
Yeah. Like
Big
a
time.
lot. Like
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, like, subscribe, count your blessings. We're pretty cool.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. Hit the little bell at the top. Let you know when we
Yeah,
post.
Just ring that thing, man.
Notify you. Give you a glimmer in your day. Hey, Chin Waggers have posted. Take a look. And we hope to see you next week. And as a wise man.